I've been posting Transformers content on this channel for quite a long time, and I think one of my biggest takeaways is just how intense and specific people can be about particular opinions that I either did not know existed or that I did, but I thought nobody had that specific opinion. This gave me the idea to make a community post on my YouTube channel asking you guys what your hottest takes and most unpopular opinions are with anything Transformers related. What I've done is I've hand selected some of the best unpopular opinions, and then I'm gonna rank that opinion from 1 to 5 based on how good I think it actually is. Because my opinion is and always will be 100% correct. Bayverse Prime is peak Prime. He absolutely 100% is. Even if you're a fan of the original G1 Optimus Prime the way I am, it's just so cool. He is so cool.
Oh, come on! You gotta admit this is cool!
Ultimately, whether or not you like Bayverse Prime, you gotta admit, he has by far the best compilation of solo moments and action scenes that we've ever gotten from any other Optimus Prime, so 5 out of 5. The fan base is too entitled. I'd honestly say most releases in the Chug line have been pretty good, but people get upset when they don't get Masterpiece or third-party level stuff from a Chug. I largely agree. I think that this fan base can get very entitled, but I think it's really tough to find somebody who strikes the balance between not being entitled and having realistic expectations, but also not kissing butt to Hasbro and justifying every flaw that they have in a figure. It's just difficult to find people who stand in that reasonable middle ground. Studio Series Devastator is incredible. You know, I'll say this, if you love something that I don't, liking something that others don't just gives you more happiness in life. I wish I liked Studio Series Devastator. That being said, their individual bots are really good, and I don't regret buying them because of that. I'm happy for you though. That's a 3 out of 5. People need to stop asking for a gun Megatron. It won't happen. Stop asking. Not even an opinion, it's a fact. 5 out of 5. Age of Extinction is not only the best Transformers movie, but the single greatest movie of all time. Yeah, I don't know. It's a close one. I feel like The Last Airbender is probably the greatest film of all time.
It's time for you to stop doing this!
Why don't we call Age of Extinction like close second. Skids and Mudflap were funny, and I liked them. I love your confidence. It's great. I also loved them as a kid. I really enjoyed Skids and Mudflap. Of course, I don't think any of us really discovered the controversy until we were older. Oh, and also Hasbro, stop being cowards. Give us Studio Series Skids and Mudflap.
You coward. You make me sick.
4 out of 5. I get it. G1 fans are so annoying. I love G1. I grew up watching G1 at my grandparents' house, but their fan base tries to make everything G1, and it's so annoying it reminds me of a cult. No offense. None taken, because I'm not a part of that cult. I absolutely agree with this. It goes back to what I was saying earlier, where despite my love for G1 and the designs and the modern toys that we've gotten from that entire era, it behaves exactly like a cult, and it's incredibly infuriating how they treat other people in the fandom. There's really no need to add no offense at the end of your comment, because I promise you, the ones who are a part of this cult will take offense, no matter what. Totally valid take. 5 out of 5. Transformers work better in animation than live action. The Bayverse brought back Transformers into pop culture relevance. I actually think that this is a really interesting take because there's two almost contradicting opinions in here. But being able to say that Transformers largely works better in animation, implying that you like the animated stuff from Transformers better than live action, but then also being able to admit that the Bayverse movies is the reason that we could even have that and it's what brought Transformers back into relevance, I respect it. 4 out of 5. The Bumblebee movie is overrated. The human characters were annoying and the movie is mainly overrated for the 5-minute scene of Cybertron. I completely agree with this take. As a matter of fact, I think that the movie is largely really bad in a lot of ways. It has some of the cheesiest, weakest, corniest dialogue.
You bought a car. We don't need a car.
Not my car, not my car.
Not my car.
I got my car. Is that my car?
If you replace Bumblebee with virtually any other character that wasn't a Transformers-focused character, I promise you, people would never be talking about it now. As a matter of fact, people don't still talk about this movie outside of the Transformers community because it is such a mediocre, boring movie. Solid opinion. 5 out of 5. Peter Cullen should not voice Optimus Prime. I agree. I agree with this. Also, on an unrelated note, Henry Cavill is an absolutely horrible person, and Jeffrey Dahmer is innocent. He did nothing wrong. Dark of the Moon is the best Bayverse movie, but Rise of the Beast is the best live action one. I don't completely agree with this because I think Dark of the Moon is the best Bayverse and the best Transformers movie, period, but I did really enjoy Rise of the Beast, so I can completely respect everything here. 4 out of 5. Most Transformers reviewers are unwatchable due to their constant whining and nitpicking. I feel like we've all seen that one review that just went so hard on a figure and was so aggressive, or seeing a reviewer nitpick something that you do like, it's annoying. However, what people like this don't seem to understand is we're reviewers. As a reviewer, it is our job to point out both the flaws and the good thing about the figure. Why would we just review it just to talk about what we like? I've had an odd amount of people commenting on some of my videos where I say, hey, this is something that I'm not a huge fan of in the figure. This is what I would have personally fixed. I will have people commenting saying, then why did you buy it? You're just gonna sit there and complain. I'm a reviewer, So I'm getting it so that you don't have to. That's the point. Also, how am I supposed to know I didn't like certain things about a figure unless I got it to know I don't like certain things about the figure? It's such a silly argument. If you are somebody like this who doesn't like hearing any complaints or nitpicks about a figure, that's totally fine. There are YouTubers and creators out there for you. They're ones that will just review a figure, tell you the articulation points, how to transform it, and that's totally fine. Those are for you. 2.5 out of 5. Bayverse had the best character design for every Transformer. I think that if saying every character design is a little extreme, I think it went a little off the rails sometimes. But yes, largely, I think that Bayverse owns just some of the absolute coolest versions of each of the characters. 3.8 out of 5. I hate Optimus Prime unless it's G1 or Transformers animated. I gotta be honest with you, if you're at this point as a fan where the only version of Optimus you've liked is this fatherly, soft, fluffy version of a character, you've been missing out on a lot.
You know, in hindsight, I think I said that a lot more aggressively and mean than I intended to. I also like that fatherly, fluffy version of Optimus Prime.
It'd be such a shame to write off an entire several generations of a character just because he's not one specific version of that character. Also, Unicron as a threat is getting old. But you and I don't think we're a part of the same Transformers fandom. We just had the first ever live action appearance from Unicron. And no, don't be a smarty pants. I'm absolutely not counting The Last Knight. We did not get an appearance from Unicron. We heard about him and saw like a hunk of metal coming up from the ground. There's been a lot of discussion because he's such a major character in the Transformers realm, but in execution, we have never really gotten anything in the last decade. I just don't really agree. 1 out of 5. Revenge of the Fallen is a great movie. It has a cartoon episode feeling that the other movies just don't have. I get this, I even largely agree with it, but again, with that terminology, it's not a great movie just because you like it. I also love this movie and I enjoy it a lot, but it's not a great movie. But I totally get it. 4 out of 5. I don't like Transformers animated designs. Me neither, buddy. Earthrise Optimus and Legacy Tarn are both just mid figures. You know, I'm probably not the best person to run this by because Earthrise Optimus Prime is one of my all-time favorite Generations figures. That being said, while I do largely really like Legacy Tarn, he has an awesome transformation. I don't think I've ever wanted a figure to have more of a backpack, and I do with Tarn. Like, he's just so one-dimensional, and I know what it's like to really dislike figures that everyone else obsesses over, so I respect it. 3 out of 5. The Last Knight was the greatest movie in the entire franchise. The Rumble Frenzy debate is stupid. At the end of the day, they are basically the same character, so who cares? Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, but I don't think anyone's taking the debate like super seriously. I think it's just kind of a fun little argument that people in the fandom have. That being said, I've underestimated the power and passion of these dumb little arguments, and I could very well be wrong here, so who knows? Maybe somebody's killed somebody else over this debate. Age of Extinction was a good movie. It just had too long of a runtime and just one awkward scene. Yes, just one. Just one awkward scene. Just one. No more. No less. Just one awkward scene.
You go get insurance on a
Definitely.
spaceship. I'm so scared. I'm an inventor.
The pill. How old are you? 20. I'm a 17-year-old girl.
1 out of 5. I like Rise of the Beast Wheeljack design. Since that first reveal, I've always been a little endeared to that nerdy Pablo Wheeljack design, but admittedly, that is kind of contingent on the fact that I'm not that passionate about the Wheeljack character. If I was, I'd probably be a little bit more ticked off. I gotta admit though, people losing their crap over this design has absolutely made me like it that much more. 5 out of 5. Age of Extinction and The Last Knight are both good Transformers movies. Transformers The Last Knight was not all that bad. Age of Extinction is not that bad. Revenge of the Fallen isn't horrible. It's pretty memorable in my opinion. It can be horrible and also memorable. Those have nothing to do with each other. They're not actually saying it's good. They're not saying they like it. They're just saying, oh, it's not that bad, which again, I can't help but think that this entire audience of people saying these kind of things are people who just heard so many people hating on it that when it wasn't the worst film ever made, they decided to say, oh, it's actually good, and when in reality, it was just slightly better than the absolutely horrendous expectations. 1 out of 5. It's a non-opinion, really. Beast Wars has terrible designs. That is correct. Those people who always argue on TikTok about Bayverse aren't Transformers fans. They're Bayverse fans. You know, I couldn't have made a better example. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, G1 fans, or what I'm assuming is a G1 fan here, have such a strong superiority complex that they genuinely don't see Bayverse fans as real Transformers fans. I mean, I don't really know what the video he saw was, so I don't know what he's arguing against, but just solely based on this comment, it just sounds like he's trashing people for liking the Bayverse. The Bayverse is factually a part of Transformers, whether or not you like it. 1 out of 5, I'll give you that one just because I don't actually know what the video is about, so I could be a little bit judgmental here. The 86 movie is the best movie, hands down. If I remember correctly, I think I screenshotted this just to show people what it looked like when you have an opinion that is completely common and very popular, but you think that it's not. This is absolutely not a hot take. I completely 100% disagree with it. The first time I literally couldn't get through it, and the second time I petitioned my wife's support in watching it with me, and it was one of the worst movies we have ever seen. And if something I say in this video gets me killed, it's probably this. So if you find my body in a ditch, 0 out of 5. Age of Extinction is my favorite Transformers movie. Say what you will about Bay, but his style of cinematography and action/fight choreography is unmatched. Everything from the CGI to score to the pacing and the cinematography was excellent in Age of Extinction. Michael Bay had the ability to give impact, weight, and reality to the Transformers. The Michael Bay cinematography, color grading, the way he did the CGI, it feels like they are 100% real. And that combined with the sound design, absolutely incredible experience watching those movies. And none of those things apply to Age of Extinction. The reason I hate Age of Extinction is because it lost what Michael Bay had. They became soft. We went from really epic CGI with giant camera movements and really feeling impact and weight of these characters to like this big cluster crap of just nothing, soft explosions happening. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. And the exact same thing happened with the sound design. What was initially firm, crispy, crunchy, incredible sound design that gave them impact and strength and reality turned into this soft ensemble, chaotic mess of just generic soft explosions and clanking metal sounds. If you were saying this about any of the first 3 Transformers movies, it'd be a straight 5 out of 5. But considering it's about Age of Extinction, I can't let that go beyond like a 2. The Gamer Edition Barricade is a masterpiece. And you know what, buddy? Good for you. You can have those all to yourself. Bayverse Optimus was justified for killing a lot of Decepticons in the Bayverse, and Age of Extinction is a good movie. I think this is kind of a funny argument because whether or not Optimus was justified in killing, I just don't think it matters. I just think Michael Bay thought it looked cool, so he did it. No need to come up with a story that even the writers didn't come up with. He killed because it looked cool, you know?
Come on! You gotta admit this is
2 out of 5. Rescue Bots is a good show. I'm not allowed to technically say anything about this because I've never seen the Rescue Bot show, but like, how good can it be? I don't actually know. I'm just being judgmental. We'll do a question mark out of 5.
Very, very important update. Apparently, Peter Cullen voices Optimus Prime in the Rescue Bot show. I had no clue.
Bumblebee and I will fend off these warbots. The rest of you.
Nobody told me this. Nobody's informed me of this. I've got a new show to watch.
I actually prefer live action Transformers movies to the Transformers cartoons. And you know what the thing is that makes me bitter is that this is considered a hot take because I guarantee you a vast majority of people outside of the fandom and then a lot inside who are afraid to speak up will openly admit that the movies are 1,000 times better than any of the cartoons, the original animated movie. They're better looking, they have better music.
I am going to turn into a truck now.
But again, people either won't say it because they're not a part of the fandom or don't want to be found and murdered in their own home for saying something like this. So at the end of the day, I think it's really fun being in a fandom where people share such extreme opinions of things, but that's the fun in it, I guess.